What's going on, guys? It's Andy here. Welcome back to another episode of Painfully Honest Advice. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys why I have 10 different credit cards. I don't know what I'm doing, but hey, I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys why I have 10 different credit cards and what's the benefit of having this many credit cards and also how it impacts your credit score. Now, if you are new to the credit game, I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys what are the best starter cards that I have in my current list of these 10 cards, as well as some of the more exclusive cards. Now, personally, I do like to collect cards just because I like to collect them all. I've collected Pokemon cards, I've collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the past, and I just like the idea of having some of the best perks out there and just seeing all the different colors on all of these cards. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Now, as you may know, and actually I'm not sure why you would know this, but on average, the average American actually holds 3.1 credit cards. Now, I have no idea why and how they got that 0.1 because you really can't have a slice of a card. It doesn't make any sense. Now, in general, having a credit card goes ahead and starts building you credit. So I will go over some starter cards later in this video here, as far as if you're just starting to go ahead and build credit. And what's the importance of having credit? Credit is something that you definitely need whenever you want to go ahead and buy something, because when you want to go ahead and buy your first house, or you want to go ahead and buy a car like this, which is the Tesla behind me, and you do need to go get financing, credit is going to be very important because a lot of credit agencies and a lot of banks and financial institutions do look for a credit above 720. Now, a good credit score is anything above a 680, but having one credit card will definitely not get you there. And ultimately, the longer you're holding your existing cards and the more credit cards you have, because you have more limits, it will ultimately go ahead and justify that you can go ahead and be financially responsible for credit. Now, additionally, you do want to be responsible when you have multiple credit cards, because one of the biggest things that credit actually does is looks at your utilization rate, which basically means that say you have 5 cards. If your limit on those 5 cards is $50,000, credit agencies do want to see that you're using less than 30% of your total limit on those cards. And I am honestly not sure what 30% of 50,000 is. I have to pull up a calculator, but in any case, I just want to share that point with you guys because that's something that's very important when credit agencies go ahead and look at your credit. Now, the reason why I started getting more and more credit cards is because I started with credit cards that were secured credit cards, and then I jumped into unsecured credit cards, and then ultimately I got cards that ultimately were giving me the best perks because now I had established credit and I can actually get approved for some of those cards. Plus, guys, you never want to go ahead and close a credit card because your credit is really based on how long you've had your credit limits for. Basically, the longevity of credit is very important to the actual credit score. So the longer that you've actually held on to a card, the better it is. Now, some of the credit cards that I actually started with, and these are going to be the 3 starter cards, guys, that I will go ahead and share with you guys if you're just starting off building credit. And these are probably the 3 best in class cards to go ahead and get as a starter card. Now, all the 3 of these cards do start off as a secured credit card. So if you have no credit, these are actually not bad cards to go ahead and start off with. So the first one here is going to be Discover. Now, Discover does go ahead and approve you if you have no credit. But if you've had delinquent credit or you've had bad credit in the past, then Discover may not actually approve you. But it is a great secured credit card for a new beginner that's just going ahead and starting your credit. Now, Discover actually started me with a limit of $200, and at this point, I have over an $8,000 limit on this card. And the nice thing with Discover is they automatically actually go ahead and increase your credit, so you actually don't need to go ahead and call to request a credit increase. Now, the next one here is going to be like a fan favorite here, and it's actually not a bad card at all. This was one of my first credit cards, or actually it was my second credit card after Discover, but that's the Capital One Platinum credit card. Now, with the Platinum One credit card, this is probably one of the easiest cards to get as a secured credit card. Now, it is a secured credit card, so you do have to put down $200, but you ultimately get that back after you've had this card and you've been consistently making your payments for over 12 months. So highly recommend this as a good starter card. And like I said, I've never closed any of my cards. At this point, this card actually has a balance of right around $4,800 as far as the credit limit goes on this card. And then the third card is gonna be the Wells Fargo secured credit card. And sorry guys, I'm trying to hide the numbers here for obvious security reasons. But the Wells Fargo Platinum credit card is another secured credit card as well. Now, I started this credit card actually with a $300 credit limit. And the way I started this credit card was you do have to open up a savings account with Wells Fargo. You go ahead and deposit that money in your savings account, and they go ahead and collateralize that with a security limit or with a secured limit on this card. So I did start off with a $300 credit limit, and at this point I believe this card has right around a $5,000 credit limit as well. I don't use this card ultimately that much, but it is still a card that I still have that's still open. So guys, these are going to be the 3 starter cards that I personally recommend. And now the next 2 cards that I actually got are basically cards that I have because I bank with these banks. Now these cards do have cash back and they do have perks, but they're not some of the best perks out there. But these are going to be unsecured cards. So once you do have a credit score, I believe of right around 620 or higher, and you have a bank relationship with these banks, you should be able to go ahead and get these cards. So the next card here is gonna be the Bank of America Rewards card. Now with the Bank of America Rewards card, this is actually one of the cards that I actually got just because of my relationship with Bank of America. Now I've been banking with them for a while, so I decided to go ahead and open a card with them. This card does have some perks. It does have 1% cash back, but it's not a card that I ultimately use. It was one of those cards that I got just because I have that relationship with that bank. Now something that I do want to go ahead and share with you guys as well, which I probably should have brought this up earlier, but when you do have credit cards and you do want to go ahead and get increases on these cards, or you want to get higher credit limits, I always suggest to go ahead every 6 months and put it on your calendar. Request a credit increase. Requesting a credit increase is one of the best ways to go ahead and start building additional credit. And I actually do this all around with all of my credit cards. And it really does help over time because that's how I got 10 credit cards with limits of over $120,000. Now, additionally, the second card within the banking perks is gonna be the JP Morgan Freedom credit card. Now this is another very popular card, and I do bank with JP Morgan Chase, and guys, I'll say with both of these banks I do invest in them as well. So these are going to be the 2 bank cards that I have in my wallet. Now next, the 3 credit cards that I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys now are going to be the cards that I actually use the most in my wallet. And these are actually the 3 cards that I actually keep in my wallet at all times. And this is because these are going to be some of the best perks and the best cards out there that give you the best rewards. And the first one out of this is going to be the Amazon Prime credit card. Now with the Amazon Prime credit card, this is actually one of the best cards for me personally that I really do like, and that's because I actually shop a lot on Amazon Prime, and I know a lot of us probably shop a lot more on Amazon Prime because of the current pandemic. But with Amazon Prime, you actually get 5% cash back for all the purchases that you make on Amazon Prime or at Whole Foods. So 5% cash back is extremely huge. And additionally, you do get 2% cash back when you go ahead and use it at restaurants or to go get gas on the card, and then you get 1% cash back on everything else. So this is one of the major cards. Whenever I'm making a purchase on Amazon Prime, I do really like using this credit card. Now additionally, the next card that I really like using, and that's going to be the Citi Double Cashback credit card. Now with the Citi Cashback credit card, you actually get 2 times the points on this card. And I personally really enjoy using this card. And I'm not sure for what reason exactly, but the one reason that I really like is they actually reward you for paying back on this credit card. So you actually get 1% cash back when you go ahead and make a purchase, and then you get 1% cash back when you go ahead and make a payment. So I don't know, but that just seems really ethical at the end of the day. So I really like the idea of, hey, if I go ahead and make my payments on this card, I get 1% cash back. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I do like to go ahead and make payments in full. And that's probably the other reason why I really like this card. So this is another card that I really use in my wallet. Now, additionally, the third card that I really like to use, and this one is a bit worn out, and it's probably hard to tell because I use it a lot and it does sit in my wallet, which is going to be the American Express Cashback card. Now, ultimately, I got this card because it was like a clear card. It had a unique look to it. I actually like the way it looked. This is the reason why I got it initially when I got this card, but I really like using this card as well because it does have cash back as well. And with this credit card, I actually have a limit of right around $22,000. So this is one of my highest limit credit cards. Now I should probably tell you guys my limits on the other 2 cards, which on the Chase Prime card, my limit is right around $11,200, and on the Citi card it's a little higher because I've had it for a longer time. It's around $14,200. So guys, these are going to be the 3 credit cards that I use the most out of my wallet. And now just to go ahead and finish it off with the last 2 cards. Now these 2 cards are going to be more in their own sectors, because the next card here is going to be the Chaso Ink Business credit card. And with this credit card, I actually have a limit of around $18,000. And because I built my credit history with Chase, they did go ahead and give me a higher credit limit with this card. Now I use this card for all my business expenses, so it's a great way for me to go ahead and keep all my business expenses separate. And that's the main reason why I really like this card. So if you do have a business, and let's say you just have a YouTube channel, or it could be any kind of business, honestly, at all. It could be a landscaping business, it could be a freelance business, it could just be like an online Shopify business. It doesn't really matter. You can actually apply for the Chaso Ink Business credit card. So I do like this card. It does have great perks as well. It does have 1% cash back, and it does have many travel benefits with this card as well. And guys, the last card here, and the 10th card, which is one of my best credit cards, and this is a card that I also keep in my wallet, is going to be the HSBC Premier credit card. Now with the HSBC Premier credit card, this card is more of like a private banking credit card with HSBC, because you do have to have at least $100,000 in deposits sitting with HSBC to go ahead and qualify for this credit card. Now with this credit card, my credit limit on this card is right around $32,000 at this point. So this is a card that I ultimately really use, and this is probably one of the best credit cards out there when it comes down to the perks for travel. And when you're traveling overseas, there's no foreign transaction fees with this card, and the perks are extremely nice. And the other reason why I like this card and like using this card is because of the exclusivity with this card. Because you do have to have a balance requirement with this card to go ahead and even apply for this card and actually get approved for this card. This is the most exclusive card that I currently have in my wallet. And these are basically going to be the 10 cards that I have in my current wallet. So personally, my personal suggestion when you're actually starting off to go ahead and build credit is to start off with 3 to 5 credit cards. Now 3 to 5 credit cards is pretty normal, and that's okay, because you can go ahead and actually have good credit just by having 3 to 5 credit cards. I would just personally suggest to go ahead and request a credit limit increase every 6 months. But if you're like me and you want to collect them all, it's not bad to actually own more credit cards. In general, after you have experienced credit, ultimately, I would say to go ahead and have 7 to 10 credit cards. Now 10 is probably on the high side, but there's actually nothing wrong with having more than 3 credit cards or 5 credit cards. There's no right or wrong number in regards to credit, but the utilization on the credit, and to say you max out all your credit cards, is going to significantly decrease your credit score. But guys, that's basically going to be a wrap for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. And just as a quick perk here, if you do want to go ahead and take advantage of some free money here, I do have a couple links in my description down below. They don't pertain to credit cards, but it's a free way to go ahead and get some free money if you're interested in investing in the stock market. So check out my description. You can actually get 2 free stocks with Webull, and additionally, you can actually get a 3rd free stock with Robinhood. But thank you guys for watching this video. If you're new to the channel and you like videos all around topics around credit cards, around the stock market, around anything to do with the financial industry, saving money, making more money, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below. And if you don't mind, smashing that like button. But thank you guys. I will see you guys at the next one.